Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? Um, I wasn't even gonna record, but just quite yet. But yeah, since I have. So check this out, guys. So here at the apartments that I stay at, um, we've got several laundry rooms. Well, in this laundry room, they've got a where you fold, where you fold your laundry at. People leave stuff there that they don't want anymore. Like if they're moving out, they'll go put it in the laundry room. Check this out. I actually got this last week. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little fairy sitting on a rose stem. That's, and there's a butterfly coming to her finger or to her hand. It's beautiful. I thought that was really cool. And then it was like not even a couple days later, someone left two encyclopedias behind. Yo, I can't make it up. Just can't make it up. It makes me tear up. But that wasn't the reason why I got on here. Thought maybe read a book, maybe a chapter or something. Let's see. What do we want to read? Pick off where we left off last time. Or you want to know what? Let's see. Where is it? I'm gonna pick up where I left off on this book, Atlantean Secrets. Volume 1, Sleeper Awaken, by Samuel, I think that's Sagan. And I don't think on this channel I have any of these videos from when I read these. I think it was on my other channel that I deleted. Let's see here. So, I shouldn't pick a point. So, seeing this rapidly deteriorating world in which the winds of God would soon run out of breath, and sleep had become the antidote to the agonizing pain of being separated from him, from her, from the light, and from God. The Lord Melchizedek had mercy. With his great angels he manifested the law, and the law was revealed to men, and Manu revealed it to men. The kingdom of Atlantis was born, safely enclosed in womb-like mists. Set into motion by the law, the blobs became cobblers, builders, fishermen, fathers and mothers, priests and priestesses. Everyone had a place, a name, a caste, a role, and a destiny. A language, alive with many powers of the gods, was given to them. For them to chant the magic hymns of the law and sacrifice to the gods, and thus bring kind weather unto themselves, and rains in plenty, gorgeous orchards, abundant crops, and healthy offspring. Through the power of the hymns, the gods were with them, and the spirit of the one God breathed in their blood, that they might slowly awaken and stop being sleepers. Tens of thousands of years passed. A glorious civilization grew, a large, majestic tree, rooted in the revelation of the law. Arts and lores, and a masterful know-how of all things of nature, phenomenal mastery of etheric forces and plants growth, and fields of energy which accomplished all manner of miraculous feats, and oracles and temples and plenty to celebrate the mysteries. And tens of thousands of years passed. But when the Lord Melchizedek looked down to the kingdom, he saw that the children of his law had not yet awakened. Now they were sleeping with their eyes open, having turned his wonderful revelation into lengthy codes of rules which they repeated like parrots, which, while fixed in habits and customs, they comfortably slumbered, a perfection rendered smothering and sterile by so much zeal and faith. The bold knowledge which he had given them to break new ground, to step out of the blob stage, and to awaken to the infinity of creation, they had made a prison, with his high priests, the jailers. Lord Melchizedek saw the cosmic tragedy and judged that the time was coming. The prison would have to be shattered, so a new kingdom could be born. And moved by compassion for the children of his law, he prepared the chaos and the plagues and the delusion that was to destroy the kingdom of Atlantis. Gervin had arrived in front of the fire and the obelisk of light. In one glimpse, he realized the unavoidable fate which awaited the kingdom. He saw cities in flames, ransacked temples, large-scale pillage, famines, and epidemics. More frightening even was the collective insanity which accomplished this tragedy, and which only the final flood would wash away from the surface of the earth. There followed barbaric times, a world of darkness and desolation, emptied of the presence of the gods, and in which the law and all the knowledge of the temples were lost. On the other side of the fire, Orest now stood up and raised his arms. Responding to his signal, Barkan Seer and the 100 thunderbolt bearers once more projected the world of thunder. The obelisk of light exploded, and the plain of Erebor was flooded with white light. Through the fire, Gervin saw the eyes of Orest. From the uppermost reaches of the sky of the gods, a shaft of lightning struck. The flash brought revelation to Gervin's consciousness, the master plan of the Brown Road. In the fields of peace, the Temple of Light stood ready to receive the entire knowledge of Israel and Lesira in the form of a phenomenal archive. All glory to the teacher, he projected with the word of thunder and walked into the fire. Orest, looking straight into his eyes, joined him in the fire, and a massive transfer of force was formed. Gervin screamed. And from the uppermost sky, the ultimate summit of the worlds of the gods, he saw the primordial night and the chant of the dawn of creation, the suburb Asuras, the birth of the gods, the wars in heaven, the magicians of the ancient days, the moon leaving the earth, and the blobets torn asunder. And the Lord Melchizedek and his law, and the deluge at the end of the kingdom, and the kingdom of the rainbows after it, and the kingdoms which followed, the true and the false messiahs, the war of all against all, the knights of the apocalypse fighting in space, the triumph of the light and those left behind, and the majority of human hierarchy when Eve finally found Adam. The moon had known all along. The spreading and multi-dimensional enlightenment and the end of time and the cosmic night, all in 1 second, all in one point. And he saw the web of love which the Lord Melchizedek had woven in his spheres, and had shone far in remoteness. From beyond the abyss of the deep, the flying dragon smiled at Gervin and repeated his welcome message using universal language. 14728392347134089724153, and so on. Moridi saw, and she remained silent. It was late at night. Melkard the Pure, as Orest used to call him, was sitting on a log at the edge of the plain of Erebor, wondering what would happen to him now that his master had left the kingdom. At the age of 19, he was the youngest of the Brown Road, having been initiated by Orest only 9 months earlier. All the time he had thought the initiation ceremony the most incredible of all the rituals performed in the kingdom. Now, he looked back and smiled. Ran Getterset, his elder by 15 years, came to sit by his side. He put his hand on his shoulder. Feeling a bit low? Perhaps. After such a high, it's more than normal. Did Barkan Sears speak to you? Ran Getterset asked. Melkard shook his head. Estrevan was walking towards them, carrying a bundle of dry branches. Barkan Sear is coming, he announced. Let's light a fire. Now the thunderbolt bearers have left. It feels much colder out here. Melkard and Ran Getterset gathered a few more branches, and the fire was soon lit. Praise the great Apollo, Master Barkan Sear, Melkard exclaimed with a touch of wonder when he saw the great sage approaching. Barkan Sear's legend made even the most accomplished of the Masters of Thunder raise their eyebrows in amazement. As foretold in many prophecies, each time he appeared to the kingdom, he deeply influenced the fate of the Brown Road. Here are the Masters of Thunder. Praise the great Apollo, my brothers. Barkansir saluted the three men in his own voice. Let us sit together. If not in the fire as your brethren do, if not in the fire as your brethren do when they meet in high spheres, at least around this beautiful fire. He turned to Melkart. How is the Mother of the Light treating you, young man? Well, Master Barkansir. Melkart smiled. Being addressed by Barkansir was like receiving a high wind of spirit that illuminated your energy and filled you with enthusiasm. You must not blame destiny for taking Orest away from the kingdom. Barkansir's voice carried the balm of the waters. If we have chosen Gervin to be the Thunderbolt bearer at the time of the archive transfer, it is because he is an extraordinarily gifted man who will be remembered as one of the greatest masters of our lineage. You are privileged, really, to have the opportunity of learning from him and serving Thunder under his guidance, especially during these critical times when so much will depend on you. Praise the great Apollo, Ezra voiced his enthusiasm. When shall we begin the great task? Barkansir replied with one of the sayings of Thunder. Right now. And the three men laughed and rejoiced. Isra then will direct the operations in the Temple of Lycia. Barkansir went on. The archive will gather the spiritual forces and the knowledge from both temples. Lycia and Isra, Gervin and Melkart will hold Isram while Esravan holds Lycia. What about Rand? Melkart asked. My mission is to go north, brother. Rand Garrison said with great softness, for he knew what Melkart would not like the news. North? Where? Melkart asked anxiously. Rand Garrison took a long breath. Far. Beyond the seas of the northern shores of the kingdom, in a desert land where there is nothing but ice. Melkart had tears in his eyes. Does this mean you are not coming back? I'm afraid so, brother. Rand Garrison is needed in the lands of the far north, at the extreme limit of the world, Barkansir explained. From there, he will conduct a long ritual, indispensable for the archive transfer. Melkart's sadness was deep. During the difficult years of his apprenticeship in the Brown Robe, Rand Garrison had not only been a marvelous teacher, but also a real brother to him. Having to lose him, just after losing Orest, was a devastating blow. Friends, we shall meet again, and sooner than you think, Barkansir said, his voice comforting like the sun. In a matter of months, Gervin will initiate you into the art of being parallel. Living in two worlds at the same time. Esther then slapped Melkart's shoulder, bringing a glow of wonder in the young man's eyes. Exactly. This art is central to the higher echelons of the initiation in the Brown Robe. Gervin himself became a parallel at the very moment of his installation as the new Thunderbolt bearer. He now lives in the fields of peace as well as in the kingdom. It sounded so extraordinary that for one moment Melkart forgot his sadness. The fields of peace were the pure world, the world to come, the perfection which the physical world aspired to achieve, but which already existed beyond the physical world. The fields of peace are the future of humanity. Orest often taught his disciples. The immaculate dwelling human beings will inhabit when all is accomplished. Soon, he will join Gervin in the fields of peace, Barkansir was born. There you will find a team of extremely powerful masters of thunder waiting for you. Alambar Seer and Viren Seer, who were two of my disciples, Matsendranath Olibana, who has lived with the flying dragons for more than 200 years. And Amenabadass. That's what it says. Amenabadass. Amenabadass. The Shining One. Together with them, you will form the Archive Council, which will be supervising the progress of the archive in the kingdom and liaising with the builders of the temple. And what about you, Master Barkansir? Will you be with us? Rand Garrison asked. Later. First, I will return to the absolute white light of highness. When the time for the archive transfer approaches, I will descend again and work with you in the fields of peace. Will you tell us more about this temple in the Fields of Peace, Master Arkansas? Melkart asked attentively. How will it be different from the archive? The archive will be kept in the temple, but in reality, the temple and the archive will be one. For the archive will contain much more than just knowledge. Spiritual forces and seeds of initiation. This is what the archive is all about. The end of the kingdom, which has now become unavoidable, will be accompanied by massive destruction and chaos. The knowledge of all temples will be lost. When a new kingdom is born, human beings will find themselves in a spiritual desert. No oracles, no temples, no lineages of initiates and teachers, no priestly orders. Even the law will have been lost. Our mission is to prepare for the future. In our archive, we will preserve the flame of all or nearly all the spiritual orders in the temples of Israel and Lysira. We will keep the spirit alive, that men and women of the future may light their torches from our flame. Melkart's eyes were glowing. So is this what will happen at the time of the archive transfer? The traditions which have been kept in our temples since time immemorial will be lifted up into the fields of peace? Yes, Arkansas answered joyfully, seeing he had rekindled the young man's enthusiasm. And all of us will be there with you in the fields of peace, not just the 100 thunderbolt bearers who took part in the clearing ritual, but all of us. Our voices will combine, and it will be the greatest ritual that the Masters of Thunder will have ever performed. So, will Ran Gerasa, Esraven, Gurvan, and I be performing the ritual both from the kingdom and from the fields of peace? Melkart asked. No. If everything goes according to plan, only Ran Gerasa will be in both places at the same time. His position will allow them to hold the energy in a way that will make it unnecessary for you to be in the kingdom. By then, you will have gathered a large team in Israel and Lysira, great field wizards and stone makers, and of course your own apprentices in thunder. This will be one of our greatest joys, as it has been for the masters of the brown robe who came before you. Train apprentices, watch them grow in thunder, slowly, and be with them when they make mistakes. Help them stand up again each time they trip along the way, and finally see them reach the summits of power that their elders have conquered before them. By the time of the archive transfer, their apprentices will have been accomplished masters of thunder, and it will be up to them to take care of all operations in the kingdom. There followed a long silence. The 3 disciples of Oras drank Barkansur's presence, pondering on the new world which was opening before them. Melkart, who always sat with his back very straight, was shining. Barkansir plunged his fiery eyes into him and took his hand. Far above, in the world of the gods, Lord Ghana was sitting in front of the silvery waves of the molten sea. Between his hands held a fantastic musical instrument made of 1,000 rays of light. His eyes fixed on the horizon. He smiled. Barkansir smiled. Melkart smiled with him, and a great opening took place. I enjoyed that. And since I'm a little more organized these days, I'll stop at that. We'll pick up at 1.7. I was like, sorry, I do that. I was talking over here. All right. Much love. Have a good night. Catch you later. Peace.